Hi friends, this is Bilal Haider and today we are going to discuss about um, the Hedging EA version 5.1, and I have updated it and I didn't made any document for this about the updates, so I thought why not make a video for you guys so that you can understand each and everything which has been updated and how you use it. Okay, so the first thing which you need to know is that the strategy behind this hedging EA is already there on my YouTube channel. You can search for it and you will find it and you will get the basic idea. Although I did made some mistakes in that strategy about explaining that strategy, but all those mistakes have been covered in this EA. Okay, so this EA is basically following the strategy that is used in the video, but that strategy has been updated and a lot of updates have been done in this EA. Okay, so first thing first, that is take profit, stop loss, and range. What are these three values which these we'll talk just now? Okay, so if you have watched that video in which I explained the hedging strategy itself, you already know that we start a trade and we place a pending trade below some pips. And what are those, that number, that specific number which about that much pips we place our pending trade, that is this range value. Okay, so let me go ahead and place some lines here. Let's say the first line, this one, the second line, this one, and let's say this, and somewhere here. Okay, so let's say we place a buy trade somewhere here, and this will be sorry, let's say we place a sell trade here. Let's say, for example, okay, let's say we place a sell trade here, somewhere here, and our buy stop, the pending trade which we will place, obviously which we won't be placing that, but actually the EAs will be placed that, um, but that pending trade, that pending buy stop trade will be placed above here. So this is our range. We'll tell our EA that you placed a sell trade here, then you place above 40 pips, you place a buy stop here. Okay, so this is our first trade. It will have like 40 pips or whatever the number of take profit you will set in inputs. It will have that take profit value somewhere here, and this buy stop and this one, this trade's stop loss value will be somewhere here. Okay, so this buy stop will have its take profit here and its stop loss will be here. Okay, so this is our range basically. So if this one goes in our profit and its take profit, okay, fine. If it doesn't go in our take profit and market turns down from here somewhere and it activates this one, so this will be our range. These two lines representing our range. Okay, so now let me go ahead and let me uh, okay, so now you know what is a take profit, stop loss, and range. All these variables you can change them. Okay, let's say I want a take profit of 50 pips and stop loss of 150 pips and a range of 50 pips, so that's fine. We can lower down these values, we can increase these values, we can change them as we want. Okay, so the next thing which is these two variables are for you to specify the time between these times you want to look for a signal. Okay, I'm using two separate signal systems in this EA particularly. I will explain them one by one, But the basic idea of these two variables for you that so that you can define your own time um, between these times, this EA will look for a signal. Okay, by default I set it to 9 and 12, and that is on H1 time frame. If you're using it on H1 time frame, then by the time the ninth hour starts, this EA will start looking for a signal from the indicators, and whenever it finds the signal between these times, it will start its first trade and it will start the hedging sequence for that trade. Okay, so um, I basically put these variables for those people who don't want to trade all the time, and they want to start a trade between certain times, because this market, forex market, it is actually sometimes it changes a lot during the day, and other times it usually sleeps. So I mean, it doesn't change much. So people who are experienced and they know when this market changes a lot, and they can put their times in these two variables, so that this EA should start only between those times. Okay, you can always set to 0 and 23 if you want this EA to look for a signal all the time, basically. So you have the option, right? Okay, the next two variables which are here, the start R and end R, these variables are there for you to tell this EA that you should work as a whole all the time. Okay, these two variables are for the first trade. Okay, you look for a signal between these times. If you find a signal, place a trade, start the hedging sequence. If you don't find any signal between these times, no worries, don't place any trade, wait for the next day. Okay, but these variables tell our EA to work as a whole, I mean the complete EA. Okay, um, these variables, when it places let's say a buy trade between these times, then it starts the hedging cycle. If the trade goes against you after 12 o'clock, then it will place another pending trade and uh, keep on doing the hedging sequence until you finish in profit. Okay, but if you set these two variables to, let's say, 9 and 12, and these and if a buy trade is placed and a pending order is placed, and if your pending order is activated after 12th hour, I mean when the 12th hour ends, um, and then it won't be placing any more pending trades, because you set this variable to 9 and this variable to 12. That means no more trades this EA will be placing after 12th hour. Okay, so this EA these two variables, you tell this EA that when you should work as a whole, I mean incomplete. Okay, so I usually put these I usually recommend people to put 0.23, because um, um, I don't want, I mean, if a hedging sequence is started, I want it to be finished, and it should not be interrupted by these two variables. But you can always set these two variables to meet your needs. Yeah, and the next thing which is here, the lot sizes of each of the trade. Okay, so the first trade will have 0.1 lot size, the second trade will have 0.3, and so on. Okay, I mean, I could have embedded a formula so that the EA should be calculating lot sizes by its own, but I didn't did that. Why is that? Because I wanted you people to have this option that you can insert your own values in here, so you can customize these numbers. Okay, yeah, you can put any numbers in here. Okay, you can search for the internet. I mean, you can do your own research on how the hedging sequence should be and what should be the lot sizes. And if you have a better formula for this, I mean you have better numbers for this, you can obviously go ahead and insert those numbers in here, up to 10, 1 2 3, I mean up to 11 trades. You can put up to 11 trades numbers in here. Okay, and this next variable, which is very important, is the lot multiplier. Some people when they get this EA from me, and they think that this EA will place its first trade, and its lot size will be 0.1. But when they put this expert advisor on their charts and it starts trading, it places a trade with 0.01 lot size, and they are confused, and they email me specially for this, that they say that, okay Bilal, I have used your EA, I started using it and everything looks fine, but this EA is placing 0.01 lot size trades rather than placing 0.1. So what's going on, man? So I tell them that you didn't notice this lot multiplier variable down here, which is 0.1. So basically what this variable does, it will multiply all these variables by this number. So it is a scaling factor for you. So if you have a lower investment and you inserted your numbers and you want to scale up, you want to scale them up or you want to scale them down, and I made it one single variable to handle all this for you. I mean, you don't need to go ahead and change this to 0.01, 0.03, 0.07 and so on, but you can do this by just changing this number to 0.1, and it will be 10 times less. These values will be 10 times less. Okay, if you want to use exact these numbers, you just change it to 1 and all these numbers will be same. If you want to use lot size 137, like that, if you want to use that, then you must increase this number to 1. You got the point? Yeah. Okay. The next variable here is the trailing flag. This basically tells this EA to use a trailing stop or not. Okay, so if you want to use a trailing stop in this EA, then you have to tell it to set this flag to true. Once you will set this flag to true, then it will start trailing your trades. And for this particular EA, I have coded it in a way that only the first trade of the sequence will be trailing. Okay, no other trades will be trailing because it breaks the hedging sequence rule. Okay, um, th that basically means that if your first trade, if you have started the hedging sequence, if this EA has started the hedging sequence and it has started trading, and the first trade is going in your favor and you're trailing it, that's fine, you end up in profit, yeah, that's fine, that's cool. But if this particular EA, the market didn't went in your favor and it has placed the second trade of the hedging sequence, and if it started trailing that second trade, then you might end up in loss because um, uh, the trade may be closed earlier because of trailing stop, and the second trade's profit doesn't cancel out the previous trade's loss, so it doesn't ends up in your favor. So I made it in a way that only the first trade uses this functionality. So yeah, if the first trade hits 10 pips profit, 20 pips profit, we're fine with that. But the the very next trades of the hedging sequence must be closed at the take profit values in order for you to end up in profits. Okay, the next variable here, which you can see here, is the total orders allowed variable. This variable is used for you so that you can control the maximum orders, the maximum trades this EA can place. Okay, so some people have low equity and they cannot afford to place more than 5-6 trades, so in a one hedging sequence. This variable for them, so that they can control the number of trades this EA can place in one hedging sequence or one hedging cycle. Okay, the next two variables are basically the flags for indicators. Okay, the previous version of this EA, which was version 4.4, that has only this I mean these two indicators to decide a trade, I mean to start a trade, I mean to look for a signal based on these two indicators. But this version 5.1, I have included one more option for you, and that is you can also look for parabolic SAR and pivot points combined uh, uh, for signal. Okay, previously we were using parabolic SAR and moving average. When both of these two indicators point the same direction or point the same thing, then you start a trade, and this is the signal. This is the signal which we are looking between these times. Okay, so you can either use this one, or you can use both. Okay, so whenever you find parabolic SAR and moving average, they are pointing the same direction, and you set it to true, it will start the first trade. Okay, let's say both of these two indicators are pointing to buy trade, and you set this flag to true, then it will start its trade. Okay, if these both of these two indicators are not pointing the same signal and you set it to true, it will not place any trade, and it will also look for parabolic SAR and pivot points. If both of these two are indicating to point to actually start a buy trade, then it will start a buy trade, and so on. Okay, I will go into more details about this option, because this is new, and yeah, I will explain that later on when we will move on to the options down there. Okay, so these four variables are for you so that you can set the moving average indicator. Okay, if you want to use a higher period moving average, you can set its period here, you can set the moving average shift here, you can set the moving average type here, like 0 for, I guess, simple, 1 for exponential, and I think 2 for linear weighted, and so on. I mean, you can search for these numbers online. What number is used for linear weighted. I will also these numbers, this 0 number refers to simple moving average, and 1 to exponential moving average. This information, what number points to what type of moving average, you can find that on MQL4 community, reference, MQL4 reference, yes. And actually I already posted the links to this documentation or this reference in my document which I made for the previous version of this expert advisor. So if you can't find that, you download it from my website, the document, and you will find the links there. And also for this applied price, 0 for closed price, I guess 1 is for open, and so on. You can find that also. I will be it is there actually in the old document of the older version of this version, which you can find on my website. Okay, the next variables are for parabolic SAR. This indicator you can set, these values are default values, but you can change these values according to your needs. I mean, if you have used this indicator and you know better values for this which works better for you, then obviously you can change these values to your own desired values. The next inputs are for basically for pivot points, okay? And the first variable here is basically a flag which is used to tell this EA whether to draw the pivot points on the chart or not, okay? If you want this EA to draw those pivot points for you, I mean these are weekly pivot points, and you can change the colors of these. I mean you can change the pivot points color, you can change all the resistance R1, R2, R3 color and support levels color by these variables, okay? And now let's go down to this number. This is weekly pivot size line style. This line style basically um, tells this EA that you should draw this type of line, okay? Some lines are dashed lines, dotted lines, and you would also find the reference to the numbers online somewhere in MQL for reference. I mean, if you use the default value 0, that's fine. That will draw a line similar to this red line, okay? Okay, now this threshold pips, this number is special for if you're using pivot points and parabolic SAR, because and these variables I will explain them one by one here, okay? So if you have set this variable to true, that means this EA will use pivot points and parabolic SAR combined, okay? And within pivot point itself there are 7 different points. There are seven different lines which can be considered when you're trading, okay? So the first thing is the pivot point itself, okay? If you are familiar with pivot points, then you already know what I'm talking about, but I will give you just an idea of how this threshold pips and how these variables work for you, okay? So let's say the pivot trading is true. That means the pivot point which this EA will calculate and draw on your chart. Let's say this is a pivot point, okay? Let's say this red line is a pivot point, and the threshold for this is 5 pips. So this EA will look for parabolic SAR if it's below the current price, and the price is above this pivot point. It's above at least 5 pips above the pivot point, and the parabolic SAR is down below this price, then it is a signal for this EA to start a buy trade, okay? And if the price is below that pivot point and at least 5 pips below that pivot point, and the parabolic SAR is above the current price, then it is a signal for this EA to place a sell trade, okay? And it will start the hedging sequence right away by placing a sell trade and the pending buy stop trade. And same for all these variables. Resistance level 1, it is another it comes with pivot points, right? And if the price is let's say above resistance level 1, and it's at least above 5 pips, which we have defined here, then and the parabolic SAR is certainly, of course it should be below the current price, then it will place a buy trade, okay? So all the buy trades are based on these resistances if you're using pivot points, and all the sell trades are based on these support levels, okay? So if a price is below support level 1, and it is at least 5 pips below the support level 1, and the parabolic SAR is above the current price, then it is a signal to place a sell trade. Okay, I hope you got the point. If you want to use all of them, then that's fine. If you want to use only one of these or two, three of these, then you can set those to true and all other to false. Then it will work for you just like that. Okay, I hope you got it. And you can always change this number 5 pips to any number you like let's say I want to trade if market is above pivot point and it is at least let's say 10 pips above the pivot point, and the parabolic SAR is below the current price, then I want to start a buy trade. Okay, so if that's the case, then you will set this number to 10. Okay, so the next variables are just my contact email address, and this the very last thing is secret code. This is not actually a secret code, but it's only the comment of your trades. Okay, I just made it king. You can make it any value, any number whatsoever what you want. So this is the comment of your trades. So this is pretty much all about this video. I was getting requests from my clients that they buy this EA for trial, and they want to test it, but they don't know how to do it because they don't have any documentation for this. So I'm very lazy to write all that document for you, so I thought I must make a video for you, and in that video I will try my best to explain each and everything about this EA. Okay, if you still have any questions which you have in your mind which are not clear for you, you can always contact me and I will try to explain them for you. And this is pretty much all about this video part. I hope you like it. And one thing I forgot, that is I must tell you that if you want to get this EA for trial, or if you want to buy this EA, you can do that from my website, which is myfxlounge.com, and under store you will find my different products which I have in there. We are talking about particularly this product, which is Hedging EA version 5.1, and this is the full version price, which is $500, and I also give away the trial for this at $50 for a month. Okay, so if you want to test this EA for you and you're not you're not how should I put it, you want to test it before you actually go for the real version, and you want to test it and see by yourself how it works. So for you, I have set it up a trial for this, which you can get at $50 for a month, and this trial is you can use it with unlimited number of accounts, real accounts, demo accounts, and unlimited broker, no restriction at all, so that you can test it. You can test it with any broker, any account, any yeah, you got the point. Okay, so you test it, and then if you're satisfied, you can come back to me and buy the full version. So this is pretty much all about this video, and yeah, this is all, and see you next time. Have fun. Bye bye.